about that. And speaking of prices going up, I mean, I know right now is not a good time to joke about the stock market and what's going on, but the stock marketing, the prices is up over there in Utah. Because I know, Joe, you wanted stock marketing. You wanted to buy in on some of that stock, but he was like, I don't know. I heard you made the call to the GM. I seen the pictures with y'all at the Nets game. You know, maybe he didn't get the right call, or maybe he just like put you on hold or something like that. Or maybe he was on the other line with the Jazz, but they was like, hey, well, we're just waiting till Tuesday to figure out if we're gonna actually give Lauri an extension. And they say he's set, like Joe said earlier in the episode, to sign a 5-year deal worth $200 million or later this week. So basically, the understanding and why they had to do it today, because today was like a deadline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because without doing it today, then they wouldn't be able to trade him at the trade deadline or something like that.
If they do it today or sooner, they can trade him before the deadline. So
Okay.
Utah had to leverage. But Markkanen is like,
Ah,
nah, bro. I need to be
yeah.
here now. Yeah.
Well, Joe, this would have been a great piece. I know
Mm-hmm.
y'all got DeMar DeRozan, but I don't know what y'all would have gave up to probably get Lauri. Well, how you feel about this contract?
So, um, uh, I'm torn when it comes to Utah, and I like the title. I don't know if you know this, like John Stockton, Utah Jazz.
Oh, I ain't even,
that
double
was
entendre right there.
that was a bar what you just did. But I'm torn with the Utah Jazz for the situation. All right, let me tell you why. So the pros, marketing is a piece with any team.
That is
You know
true.
how people say you can put Kevin Durant anywhere and he'll fit. That's how Lauri Markenan is. Like you can drop Lauri Markenan on the Wizards would be just fine. Like they'll be better. There's no way they'll be worse. You put them on the Miami Heat, they'll be much better. You can put them in Bound. You put them on the Kings, they'll be much better. You know, I'm naming everybody on that's hosting the show, by the way. Those are like, why are you picking on random teams? But that's how he is. So you can build around him with anybody. So there, when you look at the options that's available, who cannot match up with Lauri? It's anybody. It's no like, would the Rosen fit with the Kings? No, the Rosen would fit with Utah. If Lauri is there, right? So we got that out of the way. Here's the bad part about it. Utah is in a situation where it looks like they are rebuilding, right? All they have is Lauri, for real. So they don't have any other piece to build around but Lauri. And do they expect a tank again? I mean, we're talking about 2 years in a this is be the third year in a row where they potentially tanked for real
Mm.
and wasting Lauri's years. Lauri is 27 years old. Lauri's at his prime right now. This is his prime. So usually in these situations, unless you make a massive move like Danny Ainge did to get Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, unless you do something like that, then you're gonna have a championship team around Lauri in his prime. But it sounds like they're not going to be competing until Lauri hits 30 years old, basically. And on top of that, Lauri is a very attractive piece. Number one, because of his contract. All right? Because his contract is so attractive. He's getting paid $18 million a year right now. So if you trade for Lauri, you can still get a bunch of picks and stuff. And the other team won't have to take up big cap space. But now with this big contract, it's going to be much harder to trade for Lauri Marketing, especially if you already got people in place and you're going to ask yourself, is it worth it paying him $42 million a year as our third option? You know what I mean? Because that's how much they can pay him, $42 million a year. So it's like this could backfire on Utah tremendously, but it can also be great for them. But Danny Ainge got to stop being so what's I'm looking for?
Cheap? Oh
So
no.
cheap, man. Gosh, like that's all I'm saying. So now for us, obviously, I was upset, but we not about to give up 20,000 picks for this dude. I want Lord, and Golden State
That
was
makes
saying the
sense.
same thing. He
That
said
makes
what?
sense. No, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. You go ahead. Yeah, man. That's my take on it.
You hit the you hit it right on the head because you got to think for an all star, if he getting 18 mil, and I'm a team that's kind of like in that flux. I wouldn't say like the Wizards. I would say OKC before last year. Like where you
Okay.
like, I think we just need one more piece to add to
Mhm.
what we got, and we'll be good. And Laurie would be that. I mean, let's say what Chet
Like
was
the
hurt
Warriors,
last
they were the
year.
10th seed. But I get you saying.
I'm not looking at the Warriors
I
because
got you.
I understand their legacy. I'm trying to find a team that's like we're on the cusp of going on. Actually, if I'm the Timberwolves, the whole Rudy Gobert cat situation, if it didn't play out the way it played out this season, I'd have been one of them teams to look at it like that. Pelicans, that's another one of them, like teams that are in the playoff that are on the bubble. Like
Gotcha.
I can see the Mavericks probably doing it before they went and got Clay. Like that's the third piece you will probably need for 18 mil. That's a great third option. But then they drafted the other two players that they drafted and traded for my man, the landlord. So again, it's just moments where you're like, I can see what, like you said, Joe, I agree with you. I can see Lauri being a piece somewhere else. Like when he was with the Bulls and I used to play 2K, I used to always trade for him because I'm like, bro, he is going to be nice. That's the one time the Wizards, that's the only time the Wizards are good is when you playing 2K. But if I'm Utah in this situation, what's the vision? Like, what's the end goal? Do we want to get better? Are we going to tank? Because now bringing up the Wizards name again, I feel like Lauri's in a situation that Bradley Beal was in, where it's like, I want my money, but what's the vision for this franchise? Can we win? Can you bring more pieces in? Well, I seen how you treated my contract situation. Granted, the Wizards paid him as soon as the time was here, but in this situation, they were playing around with it. I could see a team trading for Lauri, but then again, if I'm Lauri, do I want to get traded from one bad team to another bad team? Because that's who's going to trade for me. A team that's going to be able to have cap space, but they're on the flux of a rebuild. Maybe next year, the Wizards could do a swap for him and Jordan Poole. I don't know. It's one of those type of things. But as a player, you get your money, but you also looking at it like I'm stuck. I feel like he's stuck. The roster is not that bad. No, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Out west, that roster is bad. In the east, it's not that bad. But I really don't know. Like, what's the vision for the Jazz? Like, why would they even wait this long? Why would they play hardball as much as they did, knowing that they really don't hold the cards? They were playing. Joe, you play spades. They were. I think they reneged on a couple books the way they was doing this one. We gotta count the books when it's over. So I really don't know.
Yeah, man. And with the Cavs, he was good too. With the Cavs, they had three 7-footers in the start lineup. But you said the key word is vision. What's your vision? That's a great word for it because we don't know what Danny Ainge's vision is. I mean, I don't know. He can't. He got a bunch of. I wonder how many draft picks they got. He got a bunch of draft picks, and see. Here's the thing. GMs are graded based off are you winning championships, not competing, because you could be competing and falling short, and people still look at you like, bro, what you doing? You need to fire somebody. You need to do that. But if you winning championships, or you holding a bunch of picks, like the
Isn't that what he did with the Celtics?
Yes, that's what he did with the Celtics. Then he got Kyrie Irving. He went and got Kyrie Irving, but he also drafted Jason Tatum with all those picks. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with them picks, right? And I think Terry Rose there also. So, and then he traded for Kyrie Irving. But GMs are known for like, oh, they got a bunch of picks. Like, look at OKC. Like he get praise. Pressy, all them picks he got, but he be hitting his picks up. So, like you said, you look at their roster, I mean, it's not going to compete. Now they got some Walker Kessler. I like Walker Kessler. They got tradable pieces, but Walker Kessler's a good young dude that can play next to Lauri. Taylor Hendricks, I wanted to draft him last year. He a good defender at power forward. We all know about Collins. They got pieces that could be tradable and they could be good pieces somewhere else. But
John Collins always on the trade block.
Huh?
And John Collins, he always on the trade block.
They traded for him last year.
And right back again. He's right back on the trade block again.
His contract must be expiring because I don't know why they traded for him. But so I don't know, man. And lastly, Lauri with the money, he gotta take it, man. Lauri wasn't a superstar. Come on, he's making $18 million a year. He was a role player. He's considered he's an all-star. He made an all-star with Utah, and in Utah, he's a superstar. So he's worth max dollars with Utah. He's 27. This might be the last opportunity for him to get a max. Take that, and then they can still trade him next year. After the season, they can still trade him. So
that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of Bradley Beal's situation after John Wall gets hurt. So now it's like the franchise is yours. But again, what's the vision? They did bring in Russ, And we seen what Russ did with Brad that year, and that was one of Brad's best years. But again, your contract was so much, and Russ' contract was so much that we really can't bring in no valuable assets.
I know.
So now
Who
we
they
have to
have
trade.
right
It was Russ. Was Kuzma there at that point? I think we got Kuzma. It was Russ, Bill, Kuzma,
now,
Denny.
Kuzma, what year was this? No.
Kuzma.
He
No, we did
came.
have Kuzma.
He came to the Wizards.
Yeah,
You
because we
right.
had he came
No.
before Russ.
Kuzma came there with Russ. No, the Lakers traded for Russ and y'all got Kuzma, right? That's how it worked.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Westbrook was with the Houston Rockets, and then he went to y'all for 1 year, and then when they traded Westbrook to LA,
because when we got Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell was in that trade too. Because that's when we had Montrezl, Kuzma, Spencer Dinwiddie signed for. Now look at this. This turned into a Wizard segment. Hold on right quick. Kuzma trade. I'm glad you said that. Because I could have sworn Kuzma was on that team.
Yeah. I cut Kuzma was part of that trade. Because Kuzma first year was a Porzingis year. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. No, he was there before.
I'm tripping. No,
you right. You are right, Joe.
Oh, he was part of the trade?
Kuzma was a part for Westbrook. Yep, for Westbrook. You right. You right.
Yeah, KCP, all them championship pieces.
We was trash that year then, because now I know the lineup. It was Westbrook, Bill, Rui. Y'all who the power forward was, but I think Daniel Gafford was our starting center.
Bruh, they gave up KCP.
KCP was in that deal. Yep, we cleaned up.
And Montrezl, what the heck is this? And come on, this advertising.
Yeah, we cleaned up.
Me, dog.
It was Kuzma, Harrell, and KCP, and that's why I claim him as a Wizard.
Yeah, y'all gave any picks too?
I think we gave him a second round pick.
No, you gave him a second round pick. Yeah. That was a good trade for y'all.
That was the best trade that Tommy Shepard did when he was here.
Look, hindsight, it's like, dang, that's all they gave up was KCP, Montrezl Harrell, and Kuzma for Westbrook. And look how Westbrook turned out LA.
I was not mad at it. I was like, hey, I was a little upset that Russ left because Russ was a big asset to the Wizards, but I wasn't mad at the pieces we got back. So I was like, we're trying to build something.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, look at Lauri. Look what you got to do with Lauri. Like, how are you going to build pieces around him? Or you just hope that the roster that's there is going to play better?
They ain't got no money this year either. So, I think they got some contracts falling off next year. That's all Danny does. Pick up expiring contracts and pick up draft picks.
So like you said, GMs are either they're going to win championships or they're known for, and the NBA is championship GMs and it's rebuild GMs.
Facts.
It's just like you can go with either one. Which one do you have? And I think right now y'all got a championship GM.
Oh, y'all had Rui Hachimura and Thomas Bryant was balling.
There we go.
Yeah.
That was look at that roster. And they made the playoffs. And we didn't almost. We got beat by the 76ers.
Yeah, I know. Y'all took a game off of them though.
We had a chance.
Bill Evans, 31. Dang.
That was his best year. It was his best
50
year.
All right, go ahead. 40% shooting.
Yeah. See, that's the year you trade him. That's the year you're supposed to trade him. They waited a little too late. But hey, that's Phoenix.